Welcome into another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready. That is Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market. Caroline McCready joins as well for another week of college football picks. We'll get to the standings and all that in a minute. I was just telling Greg, I guess this weekend Ole Miss hits the road. They go to Wake Forest for a game in Winston-Salem. I know, Greg, being busy is great for business, but having a weekend where the Rebels are out of town and maybe things calm down just a little might be good for the soul, right? For a second for you, right? You've had two really busy weeks.
Oh yeah, well, it's hard to keep your sanity around this town when back-to-back football weekends. But yeah, we get an open week, and then enjoy ourselves. I think we'll get a lot of locals. We usually are pretty busy whenever we have out of town games because people want to sit at home and grill out and take advantage of that porch or that TV on the couch or whatever. So it should be a pretty good weekend for it.
Yeah, 2008. It's going to might be rainy. That's okay. You can get if you're most people have a covered area. You get under there and do some grilling or whatnot. Watch the games and kind of might turn into a lazy weekend. I'll be honest. I'm supposed to fly Friday morning. I think it'll be fine, but you always worry about when those hurricane systems move through and they go slow and bogs down the airlines. My fear is I connect in Atlanta. My fear is I get to Atlanta and I'm stuck there. That's my worst nightmare is getting stuck in Atlanta. I either want to get where I'm going or they cancel it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll come up with an alternative plan. I don't want to get halfway and staying at the airport Hilton in Atlanta or something. No thanks.
No.
All right, 2008, University Avenue in Oxford is where LB's is. They have the freshest cuts: beef, chicken, pork, house-made sausages, seafood, the stuffed mushrooms, the stuffed jalapenos. They've got all sorts of stuff there, Greg. I know I'm probably missing things. Don't forget, when you walk in on the left, there's the freezer area. Grab something out of the freezer. You get $2 off. Just it's fresh. Just thaw it for a minute. Sometimes just put it in some water it's already sealed. Put it in the water, it'll thaw, and you're ready to go. You saved yourself a couple of bucks. They're at LB's Meat Market. You can also text your order 662-259-2999. Let them know what you want, when you want it, and they'll have it ready for you. Did I miss anything, Greg?
No, just got done making some chicken spinach feta. That's a popular sausage. So, and then I'm gonna make some more Swayze sausage. So, who doesn't like beer, bacon, cheese, and jalapeno? Yeah, going to make some of that this week. But yeah, get prepared. It's kind of hard to prepare for an open week. I mean, for an away week, but we'll be prepared and have the lane trains and the stuffed mushrooms, and we'll get some fresh salmon and some tuna. So we'll be prepared this weekend for it.
We're taping this on 9/11. You're seeing it on 9/12, but we're taping it on 9/11. Our thoughts to anybody who was affected by those horrible events 23 years ago today. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I still talk about it. I can feel the emotion kick in. I remember that day so vividly. Caroline, I know you got up in Fayetteville today on Wednesday, as people watched this yesterday, if you will, and did the stair climb, I guess, at Reynolds Razorback.
We did 110 flights of stairs this morning. It was hard, but I kept reminding myself, I'm like, they actually had to do this. But there were so many people there, and it was just at the football stadium, so there were like half of us on one side, half of us on the other. And we just had to go up and down, up and down, up and down. Then we had to run across and then repeat 5 times. And it ended up being 110 flights.
Wow.
I mean, I burned 700 calories. I literally feel so tired today.
I saw some of the pictures of some of the, I guess, fire companies in Northwest Arkansas that participated. Stuff like that, it just hits you. I don't know about you, Greg. That hits you. It's one of those days that Caroline, I know you weren't born yet, but it's one of those days that you just don't forget. You remember everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like whenever you said 24, I mean, I literally remember the Monday night game before. It was like the Jets came back. I think Jumbo Elliott caught one in the end zone, and then because I remember turning the TV on and it just happened to be on ABC, and I went to. I mean, it was, man. Like I said, it's just crazy. I vividly remember stuff like that, and it's just everybody remembers where they were when that happened, and it was just earth shattering. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I just really couldn't. It just was like just in shock with everything that was going on. Just was like it almost was like a movie almost.
One of my professors was telling me he was in the Air Force when 9/11 happened, and he like worked. He wasn't a pilot, but he like prepared the plane, he said, and he was literally preparing a plane for takeoff
Oh
with
wow.
like in the Air Force when it happened.
Yeah.
And then he's like, we had to go to Afghanistan, like, shortly after. But he was telling us it was crazy.
Yeah. I remember that Monday night game, Greg, because I was covering Auburn back then for the Mobile Register. And Auburn had played Ole Miss the Saturday before in Auburn. And then I stayed in Auburn because Auburn was scheduled to play at LSU the next week. And Campbell had been born in May of that year. And I was so excited that I was going to be able to get home. My plan was to get home on Tuesday night. I was going to just write and write and write, pre-write everything, get home on Tuesday night. And I was actually going to be able to stay in Mobile, which is rare for me, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night before I went to Baton Rouge on Saturday for the Auburn LSU game. And I watched that Monday night game in my hotel room in in Auburn because I was just writing. It was background for content. And I got up early on that Tuesday morning. Auburn did their media day on Tuesday back then. And I got up early on that Tuesday morning and was pre-writing stories. I was so proud of myself. I remember that I was like so far ahead for the week. And I had NBC, the Today Show on in my room, but I had it volume all the way down because I was transcribing an interview. And I was literally, it was lazy journalism, but I was writing to quotes. I was writing a story about a freshman defensive lineman at Auburn who was from Baton Rouge. So he was going home to play. I'd talked to him on Sunday night. I'm writing the story for like Thursday's paper or Friday's paper. And I look up and I see one of the towers has been hit. And I thought, I don't know why, I was a big Tom Clancy novel reader. And I thought it was like a trailer for a movie. And I look back down, I'm typing. And then I look back up and it's still up. And I was like, wait, what? And I turned the volume on and then the world changed. That's what I remember. The world changed. And 2 hours later, I'm at a press conference and people are asking questions about a football game. And in my mind, I'm going,
how does this matter?
This game's not getting played, number one, and who cares? Number two, I mean, I remember that overwhelming desire on that Tuesday late morning to just go home.
Yeah. One of my friends, she was telling me today, her dad was supposed to be in a meeting in the World Trade Center that day and it got canceled. He works in finance and he was supposed to have a meeting and then it was like on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know, like one of the 60 in like the 60s. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy just how many lives were impacted, how many lives were almost impacted. There was a woman on our street, a couple that lived on our street in Mobile down at the end of the street that her brother was in the tower and he perished.
Oh my God.
And I remember for the longest time they had the biggest American flag I've ever seen on a house. It was like just stretched across the house for the longest time. And it was always this super powerful thing to be driving down the street and see that flag and know, life had been impacted there.
Yeah.
Anyway, from that somber note, we'll pick some football games. But a reminder of what this week I think should be. I think I wish 9/11 would be a national day of remembrance, almost like a official day of remembrance, but it's not. But it should be. Anyway, all right. Last week, guys. Greg, you went 5-5 for the second week in a row. You're treading water. Caroline, you went 6-4. You would have gone 7-3, but you went against your Razorbacks. So you went 6-4. So you have pulled even with Greg after week 2. You both are 10-10 against the spread. So neither of you are making any money, but neither of you are losing any money. Someone's waiting to make a run here soon. Any
Yeah,
thoughts?
I've got a bone to pick with Missouri's coach. I mean, if you're up, 30-0 with 2 minutes to go, and the spread's 35, and you know what the spread is, and you're trying to cover the spread, then that's just make it obvious. But you should be not having to worry about the spread at 35 at the start of the fourth quarter. You should have already been up 52-0 and not worried about it. But yeah, I saw that. I thought that was kind of. I got to give a shout out to for the longtime listener to support the opposing team on that pick.
All right, let's dive into the games. We got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13 games. So a big week to get to. Caroline, you won the week, so you get to go first. Those are the rules. We'll start in Madison, Wisconsin. It's Alabama heading to Wisconsin to play the Badgers. This is an 11 a.m. game. On Fox, Alabama, Carolina is a 16-point favorite.
Yeah, I always choose Alabama. Let me go with them.
Not even complicated. All right, Greg, she's going to roll with the Tide, lay 16 against Wisconsin. Alabama did not cover last week against South Florida.
I'm going to take Wisconsin. I'm going to go with underdogs.
Okay.
Home dog.
Right, now, the last time you said you were going with underdogs, you went with more favorites than you did underdogs.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that pans out this week.
This is not your mom and pop Alabama, I think. I'm just kidding.
Could be. All right, Greg. Another 11 a.m. game in South Carolina. It's the Gamecocks playing host to the LSU Tigers. LSU is an 8-point road favorite.
We'll go with South Carolina. They played good against Kentucky last week, and I think they'll be sneaky good. So I like them at home too.
Yeah, I missed Kentucky, South Carolina bad last week. Carolina wins 31-6. All right, Caroline, Greg's going to take the Gamecocks at home and get 8 points.
I'm going to take LSU. I feel like I always take them too. I like LSU.
That's interesting. Okay. You like LSU just because of what? Just the colors or uniform, or you got friends or
dance team and my friend that goes there.
Okay. So 2 reasons. That's a lot. All right. We go to Missouri. Another Greg's got a bone to pick with Missouri. Arkansas people don't typically like Missouri. This will be interesting. Yeah. Boston College, 2-0. Boston College ranked this week. The Eagles, not Golden Eagles, just Eagles, are 24th in the country. They go to Columbia, Missouri. It's an 11:45 game on the SEC network. Carolina Boston College is a 16.5-point underdog at Mizzou.
I'm going to go with Mizzou.
Okay, so you're just going favorites so far today.
Yeah.
No, I always just pick. I always pick those schools.
Okay. All right, Greg. She's taking the Tigers at home.
Yeah, I went Boston College. I like the Eagles.
Oh.
I'm going to fly with the Eagles. That really kind of ground my gears.
I can tell. I can tell you have an issue with Eli Drinkwitz right now. That's an early season grudge.
I mean, I think there's like 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and they're quick huddling, trying to. Man, I don't know.
Well, they knew about the butcher versus the dance instructor. That's all it was. I mean, they
definitely watched they watched the dance instructor versus the butcher. That's what they did. They watched that.
Damn right they did. All right, Greg, we go to Norman, Oklahoma next. The Sooners got tested by the Houston Cougars. They did not cover a line last week. This week, they're giving 14.5 to Tulane. The Green Wave kind of gave a game away in New Orleans against Kansas State. Tulane's a 14.5-point underdog at Oklahoma, 2:30 ESPN.
I like the Green Wave. They should have a nice jersey combo for this game also. They usually have really nice jersey combos.
They do have great uniforms. Oklahoma had a weird uniform last week, which might have been why they played poorly. All right, Caroline, he's taking another underdog, taking Tulane, 14.5 in Norman. What do you think?
I'm going to take Tulane too.
Oh, both of you going dog. Okay.
Oklahoma didn't do well last week then.
No, they did not play well. All right. Texas A&M, Caroline. They're back in league play. It's an SEC game. They go to Gainesville, Florida to take on Billy Napier's Gators. A lot of consternation in Florida. People upset at Billy Napier. People not happy with the Gators. Texas A&M, people aren't exactly happy with them either, but the Aggies giving 4 points at the Swamp, 2:30 ABC.
I don't like A&M, but I'll pick them.
Wow, you never pick Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'm just picking, you know? I can't pick favorites.
Well, they are the favorite. They're the 4-point favorite.
No, I'm saying like I can't pick favorites personally, and then
Oh,
like,
I
you know
see.
what I mean?
I
I'm not
see.
gonna go pick Florida just because they're playing A&M when I
Florida
don't
has a
think
good
they.
dance team, though, right?
Not that I know of.
Really? Okay. Okay.
I
All
mean, I'm
right.
sure. But
Yeah, Greg. She's going to take Texas A&M. Lay the 4 in Gainesville.
I like Texas A&M. I think they're a better team than Florida.
Yeah, I do too. All right, Greg, we go to Fayetteville, Arkansas now. Arkansas's home opener. They opened in Little Rock, and then last week they went to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and beat themselves. This week they are at home against the UAB Blazers. Someone asked me who UAB lost to last week. Just ask me.
who did UAB lose to?
ULM, baby.
ULM.
Got smoked. Got
Yeah.
smoked by my Warhawks. Destroyed UAB.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were home dog too, I think.
They were a home dog. Yep. I had a plus 360 money line on that puppy.
Wow.
My boys, they wore the fancy black uniform with the white helmet. It was fantastic. Just destroyed UAB. It was a big night. Big night for the Warhawks. All right, Greg, UAB getting 22 points in Fayetteville against the Razorbacks.
I'm gonna go with Arkansas.
Okay. Caroline, what's the mood like in Fayetteville this week with the Hogs? They played better, but they just kind of screwed themselves.
Yeah, Saturday was disappointing. But
Because for a while you thought, oh, we're not terrible. We got a shot here, right?
yeah, I thought we were fine. So then I left and went to run errands. And then I look up at the TV at the store and we were losing. And I was like, oh, darn.
Oh.
And then I came back to Kyle to watch the end. And then at that point, it just wasn't a good game.
So,
I don't really know who to pick this week.
really?
Yeah, because last week I didn't pick Arkansas.
No.
I'll go with Arkansas. I'm going to be loyal this week.
Okay. I think it's a good pick.
I am excited for game day.
UAB's bad. Yeah. What's your plan for game day? It's 3:15. It's going to be hot. How long will you make it?
I don't know if I'm going to go to the game this week because it is Parents Weekend at the University of Arkansas, so it is going to be insane. But I do think we're going to go to Tin Roof and watch it. And it's like boys' bid day, so the frats will all be doing stuff. So.
Okay. All right. Caroline, Ole Miss, as I mentioned earlier, they're on the road this week. They go to Wake Forest. The Rebels now ranked 5th in the country. This is a 5:30 Central, 6:30 in Winston-Salem kickoff. This game is on the CW network. When you're playing on the CW network, you have arrived. It's like Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Some stuff like that on the CW. All right,
And the Live Tour. Live Tour's on CW.
There you go. The Live Tour's on CW.
Brooks Koepka's on CW.
There you have it. Ole Miss, Carolina, 23-point favorite in Winston-Salem.
I'll go with Ole Miss.
Yeah, they covered 41.5 last week. I think you both had the Rebels last week. All right, Greg, she's going to lay the 23 with the Rebs.
Yeah, I might as well take the Rebs again. You know that trains are rolling.
Yeah, they're scoring lots of points. Ole Miss so far this year is beating.
And Jackson Dart was on Jim Roden's show. So
that.
Supposedly if you get jungle karma or something like that, you like to get that's the thing. So he'd probably go off again this week.
Yeah, I think they're going to score a lot of points. A team that scored a lot of points last week in Ann Arbor, Michigan is the Texas Longhorns. They look really, really good. Texas looks real. They've moved up to number 2 in the national polls. And Greg, they are giving 34 points to UTSA. This is a 6:00 game on ESPN. UTSA got beat pretty handedly by Texas State last week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Texas there. For whenever my Texas A&M friend says that Texas A&M that Texas is going to win the national championship, I kind of believe him. So Texas is the real deal. They'll win probably. I'm going to say Arch goes in, throws 2 touchdowns, 65-10.
Oh,
that sound about right?
Yeah, could be. I'm not sure UTSA gets the 10, but you could be right. All right, Caroline, he's going to take the Horns, lay 34 against UTSA. Jeff Traylor's guys.
I'm going to take Texas too.
Yeah, it's probably a smart pick. They look the part right now, for sure. I'll tell you who else looks the part is the Vanderbilt Commodores. Vanderbilt 55-0 winner over Alcorn last week. Vanderbilt 2-0, 16.7% of the way to a undefeated regular season in Nashville. Will be the story of all time. It gets tested this week in Atlanta. Vanderbilt, a 10-point favorite at Georgia Southern, 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Caroline, what do you think? Vanderbilt minus 10 at Georgia Southern.
I'll take Vanderbilt.
Oh, okay. I know that kind of everybody's a little Cinderella. As long as you don't have to play them and don't have to worry about them, you sort of cheer for them. Greg, she's going to take the doors, lay the 10 with Clark Lee and the guys.
Yeah, I like Vanderbilt too. I can see Disney kind of writing a script right now for a movie.
Well, the problem they got is they got Missouri next week.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Weekend off and then Alabama. So if they're still writing the script in 2 or 3 weeks, we're on to something. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, they'll throw us a bone for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would
at
be
least
cool.
A free subscription for Disney Plus or something. That'd be awesome.
All right, Greg. Georgia, the top-ranked team in the country. They hit the road this week. They go to Lexington, Kentucky, place you're very familiar with. Kentucky coming off of just an absolute beatdown at home at the hands of South Carolina. They get to rebound with Georgia. It's not the way you draw it up. 6:30 ABC. Georgia, Greg's a 24-point favorite.
I like Georgia. Kentucky's. I think they're already concentrating on basketball. I know the Keeneland September sale is going on right now, and so with that being said, I don't think much is on the football team right now. Well, who knows? 24 points is a lot, but I'm just going to take the better team. I think they're having a little quarterback trouble over there at UK.
Yeah, completed like 3 passes beyond the line of scrimmage. It was bad. Brock Vandagriff, a former Georgia player, now going up against his former team, Caroline. Greg's going to take Georgia, lay the 24 on the road.
I'm going to take Georgia too.
Smart picks for both of you. I think here the last few you guys are on the same page, but I can't disagree. All right, Caroline, you got this one right last week. You said Cal would beat Auburn. You nailed it. I don't know anybody else who picked it. A lot of people were like, "There's no way Cal beats Auburn." Paul Feinbaum 100% guaranteed that it would.
Oh yeah, and that was great.
So here, They said. Here's to you, Caroline. What a pick!
Thanks.
Yeah, I think didn't Gibbon say is there something you're good at, Paul Feinbaum?
Is there anything you're good at?
Somebody replied, yeah, talking.
So this week, Caroline, it's New Mexico. The Lobos, they head to Auburn. They're a 28.5-point underdog on the Plains, 6:30 ESPN 2.
Well, I'm going to stick with my not picking Auburn thing, so I'll pick New Mexico.
I like it. Get 28.5 points against a Hugh Freeze offense. The last time Hugh Freeze coached against the New Mexico team, he lost. New Mexico.
Well, I'm bringing out the bottle for this one. I found it. I've been cleaning out the office, and I found the bottle.
Still,
so if you're watching the Auburn New Mexico game, hopefully you're drinking this last sip of Grey Goose that's been there for 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's about right. All right, Greg, she's going to take the Lobos and get 28.5 at Auburn.
I'm going to take the Los Lobos too.
All right, Greg, we got 2 games left. This one's in Mississippi. It's in Starkville. 6:30 on ESPN. Mississippi State plays host to Toledo out of the MAC. The Rockets are a 9-point underdog.
I'm gonna go with the Rockets.
Oh, okay.
I know it's not in the glass bowl, but they're used to big atmospheres because their stadium is just so rocking. So yeah, I like Toledo.
All right.
Lose by a touchdown.
Caroline, he's going to take Toledo and get 9 points in Starkville against Jeff Levy and the Bulldogs.
I'll go with Mississippi State.
Okay. Just your in-state loyalty there or what?
I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Solid pick. You're 10-10 so far. I can't criticize. All right, last game, another MAC team. The line is significantly bigger. It's Kent State at Tennessee. This is at 6:45 on the SEC network. Kent State, Caroline, is a 47.5 point underdog. 47.5.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. The balls look great on offense. They've frankly, the balls look great so far. You had Tennessee last week against North Carolina State, and they dominated. They absolutely destroyed them.
Crushed them.
I'll go with Kent State.
Okay, so
I think the only highlight of the NC State was the dog going to get the kicking tee. They had like the GoPro on the dog, and that was like the only the crowd really went crazy. That was about the only thing they cheered for.
Yeah, everything else was an absolute beatdown. All right, she's going to take Kent State though in 47.5. Greg,
man, I guess I'm going to take Kent State with her. That's fine. I mean, that's a lot of points.
It is a lot.
55-10. Am I in the clear on that? Yeah, 45.
If you had 55-10, it wouldn't cover. You'd have to have 55-7 for it to cover, and then it would cover by 1/2 point.
Oh.
It's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
And Tennessee's got the trip to Oklahoma next week. They might shut it down.
How do you say his last name? Nico
Amavaleva, something like that. Amavaleva.
Okay.
I don't know. I just call him Nico. Really?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I like Nico too.
For the longest time I thought it was I am Aliva, but it's not. It's Amamaliva. Something like
Where's
that.
Where's he from?
He's Polynesian, isn't he?
Okay.
Hell of a player. It's a hell of a football player.
I'll have to Google that whenever on the side. I'll tell my mom. She'll get excited about that. I got my mom YouTube TV for the debate, so she was. Yeah. I don't know why I paid whatever I paid for YouTube TV for her to watch that, but I could have probably gave her something a little bit more entertaining.
I don't even want to get started. I'm about to do a show with Josh Hendrickson in an hour and a half about the debate. The debate was tough for me, at least. It was disappointing. I was expecting something more. But we'll talk about that with Josh in a little bit. All right, guys, appreciate your time as always. Don't forget, it's LB's Meat Market, 2008, University Avenue in Oxford. You can text them, 662-259-2999. Text your order in. You can call your order in if you'd rather talk. But you can text your order in, get ready for another weekend of college football. And then, of course, the NFL on Sunday. And then we'll be back next week with another week. It's going to be big game for you, Caroline. Arkansas goes to Auburn next week. I think I have that one sort of circled as a really interesting game. Ole Miss will be back at home next week. If you're thinking about your travel plans, if you're an Ole Miss fan, most of you are listening to the show. Ole Miss, a couple of home games coming up. You got Georgia Southern, then you got Kentucky. So time to start thinking about those tailgates. That Kentucky game, Georgia Southern game is 6:45. The Kentucky game's an 11 a.m. game. So you got different kinds of days. Be thinking about that. Get your order in because how much did y'all run out of last week, Greg? Did you run down to one final steak? Because that was one hell of an order the week before.
We did really good last week. I was stocked up for Sunday. The only thing we were running, we had 2 boneless ribeyes when I showed up to work Monday. So had 3 strips, 4 bone-in ribeyes, 20 lane trains, and 5 center cuts. So we had a little bit, we're dealing with perishable goods. So it's, I wish I owned a liquor store because I'd keep it stocked up all the time and just dust the bottle, but instead, we're, flipping steaks and salt and pepper them and vacuum sealed and seasoned. And that's why we do a lot of those products in the freezer, $2 off. So if you're in town on Sunday, just swing by. We're open 1 to 6. You can, get some freezer products and throw it in your freezer and take home because you're going to, put it in your freezer anyway. So always hit us up on Sunday, 1 to 6 on Sundays.
Awesome. So we'll do that. Caroline, have a great home opener weekend there in Fayetteville. And Greg, enjoy the weekend sort of relaxing the locals. And then we'll be back with you guys next week for another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor presented by LB's Meat Market. For Caroline, for Greg, I'm Neil. Take care.